gentlemen. At least in the Philippines, it's morning, and I hope it is a bright and sunny day for you guys as well. Let's kick off with this question we collected earlier on. This is for Ravi of Cisco. What are the priority smart city use cases Cisco is seeing, and what benefits are being realized? Ravi, could you kindly come off of mute, please?
And good morning to everybody, and thanks for the question. And Cisco, we have been involved in smart cities around the world. We have more than 100 cities where we are engaged in, and based on our experience so far, right, we look at the use cases that fall into four different buckets, right? One is urban mobility. Urban mobility use cases are all about how do we make sure that people and goods move from point A to point B in an urban setting very cost effectively and time effectively, right? Time efficiently. So the solutions that fall within those are around connected transport, connected roadways, smart parking solutions, intelligent traffic management solutions. All of these use cases are gaining a lot of traction across the world within the urban mobility space. The next focus area that we look at is around urban sustainability. It's all about how do we make sure that the scarce resources that we have as a planet, we use them efficiently. And that falls into the use case. The use cases that fall into that category are around, smart lighting to save energy and save cost. And waste management, smart waste management, so that the quality of life in terms of managing the waste at a household level and as well as at urban level is much better. Smart water solutions where we ensure leakage. We manage the leakage, loss through leakage, water quality. And last but not the least is around the environment management. Looking at what are the different contributors to the pollution within an urban area, and making sure that we get the real-time data and then make sure we take policy decisions to improve the environment. The third one is around urban safety, right? It's all about how do we make sure that the citizens and businesses within a city are protected from untoward incidents, and there the use cases are around surveillance, analytics, including things like number plate recognition, face recognition, crowd management, emergency response, disaster management. All these fall within the urban safety area. And last but not least, you cannot have a smart city without citizens and citizens engaging in your smart city initiative and execution of it. So the last category of use cases is around citizen engagement, where the use cases are around public Wi-Fi, interactive kiosks, having a remote expert to deliver citizen services, as well as smart city apps that provide a two-way communication opportunity between citizens and the government, both in terms of the data that the government can share for transparent city governance, as well as the feedback that the citizens can give to the government in terms of how the services are working and what kind of an improvement is required. So we, in a nutshell, we categorize the smart city use cases in four main buckets: urban mobility, sustainability, urban safety, and citizen engagement.
Excellent. Thank you for that. And it's very incredible to think of Cisco, a technology company also involved in things like water, in things like lighting, and from everything to that, to citizenship, and even, as you mentioned, how that all feeds into policymaking at the end of the day. So thank you for those examples. Let's move on to Steve. Question here. We understand that Nokia is a technology provider, but we hear so much about 5G these days. In the context of smart cities, can you share Nokia's strategy?
Yes. Hey, good morning. Our strategy is City as a platform approach. City as a platform approach improves the total cost of ownership, and it enables multi-application on multi-domains on a single platform. There are three layers of City as a platform architecture. The connectivity platform is integrated with existing city infrastructure, such as CCTV, sensors, department systems, social media, and etc. And the digital value platform on the connectivity platform is providing data ingestion and data lake function. On the top layer, the business application for cities, such as enterprise application, smart contract application, and city operation dashboard, and etc.
Thank you for those insights. I think we have another question here a little bit later on related to that. But first, let's go back to Ravi. What is the role of networking technologies in transforming cities and digitizing urban services, and how can Cisco help?
Great. That's another great question, right? The smart city, at the core of smart city is obviously, like you said, digitization. And as part of digitization, IoT plays a very, very important role. And IoT needs devices to be connected, and that's where the role of network becomes very, very important, right? So, however, if you look at the use cases that I talked about in the previous question, the type of devices and the diverse nature of the devices that need to get connected to the network, or for example, a city network, it's very diverse. So you need multiple types of network connectivity options, from a wired connection for a video camera to a completely wireless, low power connection for a sensor from a waste management to a street lighting sensor, which needs a mesh technology. So you need a very diverse set of technologies. And from that point of view, from a Cisco perspective, we have a very wide spectrum of networking technologies from wired connection to low power wireless to 5G to Wi-Fi and LoRaWAN and low power mesh networks. All of these eventually, come together to provide connectivity option to different devices to deliver IoT solutions in a smart city. Having said that, it's also important that to be able to deploy and manage such diverse set of networking technologies, you need a single management, single visualization layer from a network management perspective. And Cisco has invested in these technologies where the management of this infrastructure is much more, very efficient and cost effective and stuff like that. So this is why, having said that about the networking technologies, just like the earlier panelist mentioned about security becomes an important aspect of all of this. So how do you embed security in the networking architecture that you're going to build so that you protect the critical infrastructure that is digitized as part of the smart cities? Street lights is a critical infrastructure. Water is a critical infrastructure, right? Transportations and connected highways are critical infrastructure. Economies depend on it. So how do you protect it? And these technologies are called operations technologies, OT technologies, right? So from securing these critical infrastructure from an OT security point of view is very, very important. And we have a portfolio that sort of embeds the OT security into our portfolio at different points in the network. So I would say a diverse set of networking technologies with embedded security is the key aspect of it. And at the same time, we're also looking at how 5G is going to transform some of the use cases that I talked about in the earlier question, whether it is related to video related use cases or transportation related use cases, healthcare and education. 5G is going to play a key role. And so that's also, we are very keenly looking forward to bringing to the industry and transforming the cities. Thank you
so much. So the 5G and IoT, bringing together these four areas that you had mentioned earlier, we need that to glue them all together. This one is for Steve. In the area of sustainable smart cities, are there any projects that Nokia has been doing elsewhere that you can share with us?
Yes. Nokia has been working with Luxstream 5G in Helsinki, Finland. Nokia is doing the neutral host model for its smart city service. There are 26 local companies. They created smart city application on Nokia platform. This is an innovative approach for sustainable smart city direction. And also, Nokia, we also worked with Belgium Tres Green Smart City. The city providing electrical vehicle charging service with smart light poles infrastructure. Nokia provided 5G network, GPON, and blockchain-based smart contract application for the city. The city successfully managed startup incubation and sustainable economic business model creation. And also, recently we have worked with the city of Melbourne for the video analytic for waste management. It was very successful, and we had the external press release very recently.
Okay, thank you for that. And I think a final question here for Steve, which is also very much related to what you mentioned. You mentioned Finland, and you know we are also having Nokia here in the Philippines. A few years back, Nokia worked with the Philippine Red Cross and SMART for the Nokia Saving Lives programs with drones. Aside from public safety, what other areas impacting people has Nokia been working on? Can you share some of these examples?
Yes, we have a very good example. The Nokia, we provided City as a platform to Wrocław, Poland. The Nokia worked with third-party local healthcare company for elder people's remote healthcare service on Nokia platform. Nokia is trying to build a smart city ecosystem on City as a platform approach. We collaborated with the local healthcare companies, and the service was very successful in Poland city.
Okay, there you have it. Thank you so much for those amazing examples from Cisco and Nokia. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us this morning.